Great players reach a point where what they do is viewed as expected, even if what they're doing isn't normal for even the best players in the best league in the world, because they do it time after time to the point where it becomes a standard, and I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is at that point. Giannis is having arguably his best season as an NBA player. Through 23 games, he's averaging 32 points per game, 10.8 rebounds per game, and 5 assists per game on 62.3, 22.5, 66.7 splits, and a 66.1 true shooting percentage. I want to talk about just how absurd he's been, because it's truly hard to magnify how historic this level of play is. But quickly, before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about Giannis. Here's the type of history that Giannis is on pace to potentially make. If these numbers maintain, he will be the first player in NBA history to average at least 30 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 5 assists per game on a 60 field goal percentage, as well as the first player in NBA history to average at least 30 points per game on a 60 field goal percentage, removing rebounding and assisting. Now, only time will tell if he keeps this up, but being on pace to do something that not even guys like Kareem, Shaq, or Wilt have done is truly insane, and I don't think people are talking enough about the kind of history Giannis has a chance to make. But what makes it even more impressive is that Giannis doesn't do it in the most conventional way for modern NBA standards. He's objectively a bad shooter. He's the only player that averages at least 25 points per game this season that's taking less than 2 3-point attempts per game. Even guys like Jokic, SGA, and Embiid are taking threes at a level where it's at least a part of their game, even if it's far from a focal point. Giannis does this while really only being a paint scorer. And the fact that he's this efficient is a testament to the fact that he's quite literally the best finisher at the rim in the NBA, and it isn't even close. This season, Giannis is shooting 77.3% at the rim on 13 attempts per game. He's in the 100th percentile in rim volume and the 97th percentile in rim efficiency. He's the only player in the top 10 for rim efficiency that averages at least 10 attempts per game. It accounts for 67.3% of his offensive attempts and 83.3% of his offensive production. He simply can't be stopped at the basket. He's having his best rim scoring season ever, which really says something because he's one of the best finishers at the basket the sport has ever seen. He's the textbook definition of a dominant rim finisher. He's too tall, he's too fast, he's too quick, he's too strong, he's too fluid of an athlete, he's too flexible, and whether you want to believe it or not, he's even too skilled for opposing defenses to handle. He has a good handle, he has the athletic tools combined with that handle to be unstoppable, and he takes full advantage of it. Again, 83.3% of his production is at the rim. A majority of players who might be able to match up with his height and strength can't match his speed and quickness as well as his movement skills. A majority of players who might be able to match the movement skills, speed, and quickness can't match his height and strength. He's the ultimate paint scoring mismatch. There's nothing like him in basketball. Nobody combines height, length, athleticism, strength, and skill the way he does at the basket. I know there's a narrative around Giannis that he doesn't have skill and he's just a run and dunk player, but honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth. If it was as easy as just being tall and a great athlete, guys like Kai Jones, Jaxson Hayes, and Marvin Bagley would be all-stars in the NBA. There's a reason Giannis is one of the 2 best players in the world and does have a legitimate claim for the top spot. And it's not just because he's a freak athlete that's tall. It's how you combine those things with his skill. The footwork, the handle, body control, flexibility, the playmaking. All of it suggests that he's a skilled player. He wouldn't be this good without skill. Now, is he the shot creator off the bounce like Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, or SGA? No. Is he the shooter that Steph is? No. If he was, that would be terrifying. Is he as polished as a scorer in the post as Embiid or Jokic? No. Is his game as technically sound as LeBron, Durant, or Kawhi? No. All of that can be true, but that doesn't change the fact that he's also a very skilled player. You don't average 29, 12, and 6 on 57, 29, 68 splits with a 62.8 true shooting percentage over 6 seasons without skill. You don't win 2 MVPs without skill. You don't have arguably the best per minute scoring season in the history of the sport without skill. You don't have the best single game finals performance in NBA history without skill. You don't drop 64 points in a game without skill. And honestly, I do want to talk a bit about that game. I don't really care that he took 32 free throws or stat padded in that game, because 64 points is 64 points, especially at the NBA level. That's not just something that happens, and I don't really care about the semantics behind it. He still would have had 40 points without free throws, and honestly, him having to hit 24 free throws to get to 64 points isn't that big of a deal. Devin Booker had to hit 24 free throws when he scored 70. Donovan Mitchell had to hit 20 free throws when he scored 71. Harden had to hit 22 free throws when he scored 61. Kobe had a game where he had 23 free throws made to score 40 points, and Jordan hit 21 free throws to get to 69 points. So it's not that big of a deal. All great scoring performances have a lot of free throws, and it doesn't take away from how absurd that performance is. And if we want to play the quote-unquote stat padding card, first of all, the Pacers should have tried to stop it if they didn't want him to do it. But secondly, even if he didn't stat pad and sat out the rest of the game after the game was basically won, he still would have had 47 points in under 30 minutes, and that's just as impressive as scoring 64 points. I think people have bias against Giannis because it isn't the most aesthetically pleasing looking game, and I do agree with that. I enjoy watching guys like LeBron, KD, Jokic, Steph, and Shai more than I enjoy watching Giannis. But first of all, it's not like I don't like watching Giannis, I just like watching those guys more. But secondly, that doesn't mean that he's bad or is just a product of having great athleticism. He's one of the best players I've ever seen, and I don't think the fact that he doesn't have the most pretty looking dribble package should take away from how historically great he is, and he needs more recognition right now for how great he's been, because he could be doing something we have never seen before. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the 2 best ways you can help me out in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and I'll reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Let me know what you think about Giannis Antetokounmpo in the comment section below. How good do you think he's been? Where does he rank all time? What are your thoughts about his play style? And do you think he's skilled or not? How good do you think the Bucks are going to be this season? Go through all that down below. But with that being said, have a nice day. I'll see you guys in the next one.